So have you been working like around the clock? Is that what's been brought the exhaustion on? And is it all wrestling?
Yeah, pretty much it's all wrestling. And then now I'm doing like the cameo thing.
Yeah.
Trying to get people, recruit people from different, the MMA world, this new girls that are coming in. Because it's like, it's good income. And I'm just trying to like tell them that you can do more than just Patreon. And then this one is super easy. Literally, you can make in a week if you are like hustling $1,500, $2,000.
Wow. Okay. Send me all the information.
No, girl, it takes 5 minutes. I'm telling you, like in the last, and I'm lazy. Um, in the last, I think 6, 7 months, I made $8,000, $9,000.
Get out.
No, I'm serious. It's
Wow.
good money. It's really good money, and there has options in terms of if you don't want them to order through the iPhone or the
Okay.
iPad, what is it? Whatever
Yeah.
through Apple, they take less money that way. I have it taken away because if they want to see me, it has to go through Cameo, not through the app
Oh,
from Apple,
wow.
because it
Okay.
takes a lot more money. But it's
Yeah.
it's it's really good, really really good.
Okay. Well, send me the info. I'm all in.
I will.
Please.
I will.
So tell me, like you mentioned your connection to the MMA world. What is your association?
Well, I had a professional fight in 2019. I was scheduled to have 3 more fights, but COVID happened, and that's kind of like stop it. But right now, with my wrestling career going on the rise, like I have to make a decision if I want to keep fighting or if I want to just focus 100% on professional wrestling.
Okay.
And I mean, I have to be honest with myself, right? And so I have to make a decision. I'm not gonna stop training MMA. Like that's, I think, one thing that has, you know, created an edge
Yep.
that is so much different than a lot of the girls in the circuit. So I will not stop training MMA. Like that's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Just in case if I decide to like say, you know what, before I sign to with anybody, if I want to have another fight, I'm still in conditioning and everything ready to go. But it's financially, it's very hard. It's very, very hard to make that decision.
Okay, I see. Full transparency, what is more lucrative long term, MMA or professional wrestling?
Well, in MMA, if you're in big companies, definitely you're gonna get every time you step in the cage, you can get, between, depending on what promotion you work, between 10K to more,
Okay.
right? So, and then on top of that, you're talking about sponsorships and how much, you are able to get outside of, whatever money they want to give you. But
Right.
other than that, is like a lot of the guys and girls that I know, they have full-time jobs. They go and do MMA. Some of them are not full-time MMA fighters
Okay.
because they have to take care of their family. So it's hard. It's a hard life. It's a very,
Yeah.
very hard life.
Yeah. And that's just the surrounding life. That's not the actual fighting and the training and the
No, and then you have to take in consideration, like if you want to go and train and you want to have a camp somewhere else, you have to pay for your camp. You have to pay for strength conditioning coach. You have to pay for a nutritionist. You have to pay for your food. What else? Oh man, like therapy,
yeah.
physical therapy. It's just all this stuff that adds up, and that's when you have to make a decision. And I mean, a lot of my friends, all of them, they're very passionate, just like professional wrestlers
Yes.
on the sport. So it comes to a point in where you have to make decisions for
Of
your
course.
family, or if you're gonna keep grinding, you have to even do more. Like I noticed a lot of the girls that were on the fighters, they start doing like OnlyFans to Patreon,
Okay.
to supplement that, because they were not making any money. There
Yeah.
were no fights. There's no
Yeah.
fights, there's no money.
So COVID basically was your major hurdle for your MMA career. Um, what came first? Was it your love for professional wrestling or your MMA career, or were they?
No, it was wrestling came first, and
Okay.
then MMA came along with professional wrestling, because there was a couple of people that were involved in MMA, and then those are the ones who were like, you want to jump in and try it, and I'm like, sure. How hard is it gonna be?
But a professional wrestler's mentality to how hard it's going to be is extremely different than your average Joe Jane walking off the street, because there's
No,
already something not right in here.
yeah. So I jumped in full force when I was 33, and um, like I said, it just gives you another mentality and makes you a lot more tougher in many ways.
I just got goosebumps when you said, I jumped full in at 33, because the life of a female fighter is so different now. Like when I got in the game in 2005, I thought my career would be full on over by the time I was 30. And here we are, this new and older generation of female fighters, and we're still grinding well into our 30s, into our 40s, and having successful careers. What do you think has changed in the past 10 to 15 years?
I think the perception of women wrestlers have changed a lot. You don't necessarily have to have the 21-year-old big boob, super blonde girl, wrestling in bikinis and thongs and stuff. They want to see people that can go. Like I've noticed more and more, even the male, like the fans are like 80% males and 20% women, right? So it's even they want to see that. Like even when they have some people returning back to major promotions and they know that girls can't wrestle, they're like, why are they even in there? Like they can't even do anything. And that's like the main complaint that I hear. And I think like the more that they see that women can be a full-on athlete and they can still be sexy and they can still be, themselves, it's slowly becoming more embraced by the general population.
Yeah, I agree. And I think what the perception of sexy has completely changed with female wrestlers. It's because everyone is so different now. Your fan base comes from who your character is, and your level of athleticism and just what people are looking for is so different. We're not just putting out 3 to 4 minutes of like kind of wrestling. It's an amazing place to be a female wrestler right now. And I think the pendulum has swung the other way finally, and it's being driven by each and every one of us. So thank you for all you've done for the sport.
Thank you. I'm still working on it. Like I said, I'm still working on it. There's so much more to do in the business. And like I said, I worked in many different TV companies, and I've seen how everybody runs their stuff. For me, like the difference maker was Lucha Underground, because we did a lot of intergender wrestling. And some of the women were champions there that were supposed to be the males, the male championship. And that really opened my mind to like, we can't do this no matter how we look, how old we are, and where we come from. And then I worked in other promotions, which I won't say the names, but I noticed the difference in how we were treated, and how, because of the color of your skin, your age, the frame of your body, you were given names and people will make fun of you. And it was hard for me to watch some of that, because again, you're just like trying to keep a job and you're just like trying to figure it out your way into things. And that's when like after a while, I'm like, I'm just gonna make my own stuff, and it's my own money. I know people will support it, and that's when you really start making a change.
Yeah, I agree. And so, how on earth did you find professional wrestling to begin with?
What was that again?
How did you find professional wrestling to begin with?
It was like 2000. Man, I don't remember. I watched professional wrestling when you were wrestling in the Knockouts. It was you and Sarah Stock, and I fell in love with Sarah Stock. I just love her style. She's so good.
Yeah.
Like every time I text her, I was like, I love your work. I can meet you one day. I was such a fangirl for her. That's the only one that I fangirl for, because I haven't met her yet.
Okay.
I used to watch the Knockouts. It was like 2000. Man, remind me.
2007 to 2011.
Yes, 2007, 2008. And then I started watching WWE, but I thought it was like, I didn't like it. Then I went to a couple live shows. I went to WrestleMania 25, but I wasn't like a serious fan. I just watched it because they gave me the tickets and I went there.
Right.
And then in 2010, 11, I started going to like indie professional wrestling in California, Northern California. And that's when I was like, oh shit, this is cool. And then in 2013, I did a tryout for a school there. And it was like the worst drug that I could ever taken. Like I got hooked so bad.
Yeah, I hear that. I hear that. I always say it's the most abusive long-term relationship that you just can't get out of. I left for 10 years and god damn it, I'm back.
But you look so good. I was watching some of your matches now. I was like, who is this? And you look familiar. And then I went back, somebody put something from Impact from like back then. And I'm
Yeah.
like, holy shit, she looks even better than she used
Oh,
to do before. You know, it's like, I
thank
guess
you.
it's when you have it and when you love it, like, doesn't matter how much time passes, like, you can get back on it. And that's a cool thing.
It is. It's such a cool thing. And it's funny because I think I'm enjoying it much more this time around. And I think the way I feel on the inside radiates to the outside. And, you know, it goes for all of us. When you're miserable, it shows whether you want to tell people or not. People know when you're grizzled and you've had enough. And yeah, I needed 10 years off, but I'm so happy to be back. So thank you for that.
No, you look great.
Thank you. Now, okay, so you didn't get into it really until 2008, 2009, 2010. What were you doing before that?
I went to college. I went to UC Berkeley. I was on my way to become a therapist, a family therapist. But before that, I wanted to be a teacher. Didn't go that way because I wanted to take tests. Like that. And it's just like, I kind of like my life has been like that. It's like, oh, this works. Okay, like, I'm gonna do it. Oh, this didn't work. Let me do this. So it was just taking it slow because I moved to America when I was 17. So I didn't speak English and it took me a while to learn English.
Wow.
Writing. I have an anxiety of when I have to like write. And right now being like, I have to write my second comic book and I've been like putting it off because I hate writing. But when I write, I'm like very detailed and actually, it's actually not that bad. It's just my grammar is really bad. So I was doing that. And because I was so afraid of taking standardized tests, I kind of like put that as an excuse and never really apply to a master's program. I have the application fully ready to apply. I remember I had it. I went with my teachers and I'm like, hey, I'm going to be a therapist. Can you help me out? And I had the application with me and then wrestling happened. So I was like, okay, I guess this is not going to go the way that I wanted to. So I just started working as a social worker for a minute in the community and it was very flexible. So it allowed me to train, travel and do all that stuff. And then it came to a point in where it wasn't sustainable because success for me started happening really quick. And I'm always like, I'm never afraid of taking like big chances.
Yeah.
So like the first one was when I went to Japan. I left my job for 3 months. They were super supportive. The second time it was like I got hired for Lucha Underground, like not even 3 months after I came back from Japan. So I was going back and forth. Like I was like working my shoot job Monday through Friday. And I leave Friday night to LA. And then I come back Monday morning, like not sleeping. I remember going straight to the meetings, putting my glasses on and falling asleep. It was so rough. And it just came to a point where it was not sustainable. And my husband was like, you know what, I'll just work full time, make sure I have insurance so we can get that covered until like you start making some real money and you just focus on becoming a professional wrestler. And that's what I did.
A good man.
Yeah, I have a good man.
Now, how does he feel? Obviously, he's your biggest fan, but when you first met, I imagine, were you a wrestler when you first met?
No, I was not a wrestler. I was just, I just needed a job and I didn't like him at all. And just become really good friends. And then he got me into a lot of sports. Like I never played sports and he got me into like basketball, baseball, volleyball, definitely professional wrestling. He helped me, like he just pushed me to do things that I was not used to and like I would never do. Like I learned how to swim when I was like 19. Like a lot of this stuff, like I learned it at an old age. But he was always be like, no, you can do it. Don't say no, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I do that to him. Like, no, you can do it. Don't say no. Don't make excuses. He created a monster. So
what a great partner. That makes me so happy.
Yeah, I push him, he pushes me. Sometimes we don't like each other when we push each other like that. But sometimes you need the person that is closer to you to like want the best for you.
Absolutely. Preach. We all need that in our life. Now, where were you born?
I was born in Tijuana.
Okay. And were you exposed to a lot of Lucha Libre growing up?
Not as much. My parents were not into sports at all. So, I mean, we watch it because it was on TV, but other than that, when I never went to like a live show or nothing like that.
Crazy. Now tell me, how did the comic book come around? Because that is so cool. Were you a comic
Um,
book fan?
it was one of the guys. He's a writer for comic books. He hit me up and he's like, "Hey, I have a guy in Tijuana. He's a artist. We're interested in doing a comic book. This is how much it's gonna cost." And I'm just like doing, like mathematics in my head. I was like, okay, I gotta sell this much to make this much. Okay, I was like, all right, cool. And I just started noticing not a lot of people have comic books,
No.
and because they're expensive, they're very expensive to make. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
And then you have to have a really good, I will say, following in order to like sell them.
Right.
One comic book came out. One of my friends made it on his own, and then he gave me a couple, so I sold those. And then I was on the works doing this one, and this one is a autobiography. So so far, everybody that I have given it to that have kids, they really enjoy it because they're really reading into their kids.
Yeah.
So I made it really kid friendly because I do a lot of stuff for like very edgy, like in bikini and stuff like that. So it's like, I feel like this year I've been like doing an effort to like have more younger fans.
Okay.
And a lot of my posts have to be catered to younger fans. And I'm like, I'm a rebel. So I like to like flip people off. I curse so much in Spanish, but I'm like, I have to like make that switch because in the next couple of years, I feel like I'm about to get signed in a bigger platform. So, and I really, really, really want to target the young fans and the young public, because those are the ones that are, Dad, can you buy me this? Dad, can you buy me? I'm like, yeah, sure. So
100%. I think that's a smart business move.
yeah, so they like it. So I'm working on the second. It's gonna be a 3.
Oh wow.
3 series, and then we're gonna work on doing other stuff with probably my stories with my dog, and then doing just like stories with Thunder Rosa, and then we're just gonna like shift it up.
That's really, really cool. That's really inspiring, because I could be wrong. I'd have to do the research, but I don't think there's any other female professional wrestler that has their own comic book.
I don't think so. No, it's like I said, it's expensive. It's expensive to make, and it's a long process.
Right. Of course. Yeah. But I think that's a really good market to corner. And God, like Comic-Con, they're going to be like, woo!
Yeah, I'm actually have like 3 Comic-Con set up. One here in Del Rio in Texas, then one in Memphis, and then I'm working another one. Those are like all like, I'm doing it on my own. So because again, it's important that you like I was telling you earlier, you have to have different sources of income.
Yes.
Not only professional wrestling. And that's what I learned during COVID. It was like I really started doing stuff that I didn't necessarily do. And but now it's just becoming so difficult because have like 5 or 6 different things that I do along with being a professional wrestler.
Right. Well, you're killing it. I'm so excited watching your growth on television. We don't always get to watch people grow on the big screen. So seeing you on major companies, it's an exciting time for you, and I can't wait to see where you end up. But thank you again for taking the time to talk with me. I like to end every episode the same way. I ask 10 tailor-made questions. It's kind of like a speed round, but don't feel rushed to answer any of the questions. Okay, are you ready to play?
Yeah.
Okay. Name a beauty product you cannot live without.
Oh shit. Okay, I'm like, oh yeah, oils, the natural oils.
Oh, okay. Do you have a favorite fragrance?
I use a lot of almond oil and tea tree oil. Those are the ones that I use. Okay. Not necessarily, and I use them for my skin. Oh, and then I use rose oil for my skin. My skin is super soft.
I love it. Okay, I'm learning here. What is your favorite exercise?
Oh man, running. I love running.
What is your biggest pet peeve?
People being late.
I hear you. And it's not acceptable in the wrestling world either. Who is your celebrity crush?
Oh, my celebrity crush, man. Oh my God. I have a couple. I don't know another definitely the guy from Superman. I think he's hot as hell.
Superman or the character?
No, just like as him in general. He's hot. I had another one, but I can't remember. My son and I were always talking about him, but I don't know. I
How old
forgot.
is your son?
He is 16. He's about to be
Oh
16.
my gosh.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
I was gonna say, you must be such a big fan of yours.
You know, he is a little jerk sometimes because he watches all my matches and he's be like, "You haven't used this move. You look boring lately. You gotta like mix it up. Try to do this thing." And then so him and my husband are always like that. I was like, "Dude, what were you doing?" I'm like, "I hate you guys." So, but it's like we are in professional wrestling terms, we all like give feedback to each other because my son is becoming a professional wrestler too.
Oh, get
So
out.
yes, he is training with me. So I watch him very closely, and I was like, "You did this well, but you got to work on this." And then when he watches all my matches, you're like, "The match is really cool, but you need to stop doing this because it looks so whack." And I was like, and I watched and I was like, "Yeah, you're right." So
Jesus, I can't think of a harder crowd. Your husband and your son.
oh
Dinner.
man. And sometimes I just call me or text me to be like, "What was that?" And I'm like, "Y'all need to back off now."
Oh, dinner must be eventful at your house.
Sometimes, yes, it is.
What is your favorite band or artist?
Favorite band. The artist definitely will be Selena Quintanilla. Like she is my inspiration for becoming a better person and a better entrepreneur. Yeah, the more that I read about her, the more that I know about her. I mean, I grew up listening to her music, but
Yeah.
her mindset was kind of like the mindset that I have is like not unstoppable. Like she didn't care about people telling her that she couldn't do it. She'll just be grinding on it. And I know if she would have been alive, like I know her parents and her family made it to what it is now, but I think it will be even bigger.
I agree. Oh, what a beautiful, beautiful spirit. We all have an angel watching over us and Selena.
Yes.
What do you have a secret vice? Like drinking a glass of wine in the shower.
No, I don't.
That's okay if you don't. Not everybody does.
I was like, what? No. Weird. No, I don't.
Okay. What wrestler has the best entrance music?
Ooh, I love is it Carrying Cross?
Yeah, Karen Cross. That's gets you
Oh my God,
going.
yes. Oh, I love that. It's so like, I mean, he's dramatic. He's always been dramatic. I worked with him for so many years, but now having his girlfriend doing the whole like entrance and everything, and she like changes depending on their mood. It's pretty cool. I like that. I like those kind of entrances.
Yeah, I agree. What is your drink of choice? Doesn't have to be alcoholic.
My drink of choice. Definitely Diet Coke. I drink Diet Coke for everything. And then craft beer if I'm feeling, you know, like I want to get tipsy a little bit. And it was tequila before, but I don't drink tequila no more. I'm good. I'm good with tequila.
You had a falling out?
Oh, terrible falling out. One of the worst. Never again.
I hear you. Okay, what was your most embarrassing moment in the ring?
I used to wear this like cheek like cutlets, you know, the ones.
Yes, girl.
Yeah, so I used to wear those because I'm flat chested, proudly flat chested. So when I first started, I really wanted to look more, you know, voluptuous or whatever. That was like 7 years ago. And I had them on and with this gear that was a little bit loose. So this girl gave me a power bomb and one of them popped out. And it was so embarrassing because I saw it and the ref grabbed it. And then literally like that whole night, some guys that didn't like me started calling me chicken cutlets. So it was the worst. Like they were making fun of me and like it was the fucking worst. I remember we were at dinner with a couple friends and I was just like, you know, just going on my social media and I was like, did you see this? And I just started crying. All right.
Oh,
and then
baby.
like a week after I was like, why am I crying? I'm just going to use them as a weapon. So I just started pulling out and started hitting people with them. So I'm like, yeah, it was like the most embarrassing thing I'll say. And no, I have not shown my vajayjay yet.
Good.
Almost did. Yeah. So
yeah.
Yes, I always trained before and I was like, no, I can't use this. But I think that one will be the most embarrassing one.
If it makes you feel better, my homegirl, your idol, Sarah Stock, she always had the chicken cutlets in, and definitely we've had some incidences where hers flew out. I pocketed it, gave it to the ref. Like, you are not alone.
Okay, good. I feel better.
Okay, last question. Finish this lyric. Bitty bitty bamba.
Bitty bitty bum bum.
It was easy, easy,
Yes,
easy.
I was like, what should I start singing the other part? I was like, or is it the chorus?